Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? So, we have just gotten episode 2 of How Much Does Your Dumbbells Weigh? Um, and I honestly did not expect our character to be able to go Ultra Instinct Boxing, which was very surprising to me. But it looks like if she ever actually wants to focus on something, boxing should be one of those things she focuses on, seeing how she is pretty broken already. So that's always a fun thing to see, or to imagine if they ever play on it. Like they could literally do practically anything with that if they want to, but will they do something with it is the true question. And I don't really think they will, seeing how the show is all about, uh, working out and stuff like that. And to be fair, the one thing she doesn't do well is keeping the weight off. So, yeah, even if she does get all this done, she's still looking at a pretty bad situation of just dealing with overall dieting and not having like 6 meals a day. So, we'll see how that plays out. I mean, she literally worked out for one day last week, and she's like, man, I should really get on that scale because I'm gonna be mind blown of how much process I've already made on my workout. So these characters are absolute. Well, mainly the main girl is hilarious. It was pretty cool to see them talking about some of the things that come down with metabolism and like overall why some diets are obsolete compared to some on how it's not like the diets are bad as much as it's just you won't get much from it because of like the aspect of how much you're taking of it or how much you're gonna stick with it and stuff like that all become big factors, and they kind of go over all that, which is really cool, I think. And like some people hate saying that anime is for kids and stuff, but there are Japanese kids that watch this on TV, like as how we would watch like Dora the Explorer or something on free cable. Um, and they have these channels where this show is going to air at a certain time, and they could watch it and actually be learning about all this stuff as they're watching and enjoying this anime. So I thought that was pretty cool for people that are like just ignorant of what goes on in the gym, or just why people work out in certain ways than other ways and stuff like that. They seem like they're gonna be getting into all that, which is uh, interesting for like just to see where they go with it. Because at first, with the stretching that they were talking about in this week's episode, kind of sounded messed up. Like they were pretty much telling you to never stretch out before working out, which is also something that either whoever you've been is something that is doesn't really fly with certain people, which um, when it comes down to, for instance, like kids and stuff, like younger in high school and stuff, they have a little bit better chance of having much more limber limbs and stuff, and not so tightened up and stuff like that. But it's always good to stretch. It's just the fact that if you're going to stretch and then go work out, that wasn't really necessary. That was like a waste of time, pretty much. So very interesting stuff. I mean, if you aren't like a workout fanatic or anything like that, a lot of the stuff that's actually being said in here can be translated. Like you could actually go to the gym and do some of this stuff, or like you see at the end of the episode, they're doing like just sets of squats or like planks and stuff like that. All that stuff you can do at home for free as well. It's just using your own body weight as your thing to keep you like to push you, to strain you. And then once you get to being able to use your own body weight like so effortlessly, that's when you start adding weights and stuff to certain exercises. So I don't know. It seems really cool that they're going that into detail. I'm not like the biggest fit nut ever, but I used to, always be worried about how my appearance was and stuff like that, and wanting to work out so I could look good for ladies and all that dumb stuff. So um, seeing all this stuff makes, it's like it's the opposite version of a of my position. It's like she wants all the guys to see her. She wants to just look nice and fit. She wants to be able to be in her old clothes that don't fit anymore because she's putting on some weight. So just all these other, I mean, I don't really care about that. I'll get some clothes that are, that actually fit me if I have to. But you know how ladies are, including when you get new clothes and you're a woman. People be like, "Oh, that looks good on you. It fits so well," and that means they already knew you had some clothes that were fitting a little bit tight. Okay, so you ladies do you. I don't know. I don't know all the reason why you buy new stuff, including when you get too big for something or too small for something. If that is embarrassing or like, something you don't want to put up with when you go into the store and stuff. That's just how it is, and that's how our main girl is. She even has this too small of a bathing suit, and it literally rips within this episode. So that's just kind of those types of things that they are so self-conscious about, because with it ripping and with it being something that it was, uh, an outfit or even a swimsuit that she's wore, and it was like, perfectly fit. Now all of a sudden you get back into it and it's tight around certain areas, but some people don't understand with like just time and age, that you just you keep weight, and that's where the metabolism comes in. Like with time and age, your metabolism doesn't break down food nearly as fast anymore. So whatever weight you start putting on, you start to really keep it unless you keep up with your exercises, which shouldn't be something they're worried about as much as the guys were just giving them a heads up on that. So I don't know. That was pretty interesting for them to go into that, even though metabolism is more of a uh, age-based thing when it comes down to when it stops working nearly as much compared to like if let's say me and my brother eat something, his metabolism might break down better than mine because of something else that's happened. Because he's older than me, but I have done. They were talking about something about working out so much and then not working out and then getting like losing the metabolism makes you lose like your appetite and stuff like that. So I think that's actually what happened to me. Like my brother can eat tons more than me in one sitting, but when it comes down to it, I feel full off of a quicker sittings, and that's where that metabolism thing is kicking in. Like I'm 26 and it feels like that. So imagine if I'm 40 and my metabolism isn't anything, then it's non-existent. So that's kind of like the issue he was talking about more or less in this week's episode. Is usually older people have that issue, but it will become an issue for everybody sooner or later within due time. Just give it a moment. So with all that being said, we then go to her girl's house who she wanted to kick it with in the first place, and come to find out the movie they want to watch is being postponed because of her older sister pretty much needs a hand with the job or like the business that they run, which comes to find out be a boxing gym for their father who used to be a former champion. So yeah, of course we got to get a little boxing action in there. Mind you, these girls, like the girl that's friends with our main girl, is in high school, and she's straight up training men who look like they could be in the heavyweight class, or any class of actual boxing already, which they already did have champions come in and actually leave the place, getting a belt and stuff like that. So it's not too far-fetched that they might have actually trained one of these guys into a champion already, seeing how many belts there were and how many generations has already been training in this gym. So I don't know. They like to have fun with that type of stuff, and I do enjoy that. So I think that's another reason why this show kind of shines in my eyes is they're just having fun with the characters. They're just everybody just so happens to be so much like in a better position to stay fit than our main girl, and she's kind of just like the odd one out so far. Like none of her family members supposedly are athletes or anything that we've learned about yet, or they aren't forcing her to help with a business that should necessarily keep her in shape just by being there. Like they're literally the boxing coaches. Like they use the bags and like they're so dumb. Like imagine a grown man throwing his hardest punches at you, and you're supposed to, keep up, not only keep up with him, but dip dive and tell him which combos to do next and all that types of stuff. Like if you've seen Megalo boxing, or if you haven't seen it either, go check it out. But if you've seen that anime, you see how much like effort that man has put into training his body to just be able to throw punches and be able to react to certain punches coming at him after throwing. Then you go and see these freaking ridiculously graphicked out people doing the same thing and with just so much more power and like technique that, well, not technique, I could say, because that anime did a really good job showing all of like the standard boxing techniques and stuff like that. So that was really cool. But this was like just some powerhouse madman coming in swinging at the bags, just trying to rip it off of its thing, and none of them were doing that. And then of course, the girl who we are watching, the girl who we are enjoying the show with, is the one that comes in and swings so freaking hard she rips it off the bag and practically feels bad about it. She's like, I'm so sorry, I did not mean to break it. So now this older sister that asked for help in the first place with the gym and the coaching wants to train her up to be literally a champion. So, like I was saying, it could be easily one of the things they do now. She becomes a champion, and then, she stays fit for the rest of her days. Or that was just all, like she's not going to do anything with those skills. It just doesn't. Just because that happened, it doesn't really matter to her. She's not going to do anything with it because that's just how it be and how it goes. Sometimes you see what you're very talented in, and because you don't want to do it, you don't really put that much effort behind it as you should have if you wanted to become a champion. It's like Floyd Mayweather seeing how good he was and then doesn't want to continue just because there's other stuff he wanted to do, or he just wanted to chill, whatever the case may be. But yeah, overall, very very entertaining episode. I don't really think there's going to be a part in the show where she is gonna just have something she just focuses on. I feel like she's always just gonna hear those types of things. Like for instance, we saw they were talking about all different types of sports athletes, bodies, and stuff just by how they look, where like maybe a tan line would be, because of the outfit you wear during the sporting event, all that type of stuff. And they made it seem like this could turn into a sport anime, but I really don't believe it will. I mean, unless it turns into um, like a bodybuilding competition or something. I don't know, but I highly doubt that either. I highly doubt there'd be any competition in any way, shape, or form. So whatever, whatevs. Let's just enjoy ourselves some laughs and some relaxation in these jokes. To be fair, there wasn't as nearly as much joking in this one as the first episode, so it seemed like it was more or less trying to build up the basis of things that she could be possibly good at or that she could possibly use in her advantage to like training. Like to stay in shape, you got to find something you actually enjoy. And what does she start to enjoy? Boxing, if that was the case. So, and then we got the freak girl who just can look at your body and know what sports you play. So we'll see how all this plays out. I don't know. They're really fun. They're a fun duo to watch, and to add more characters to the cast would only be that much more entertaining. So, second episode, I give it a 7, and the first I give it an 8, just because the first had so much more jokes and the girl reacting to all the buff people and just her initial reaction to what it looks like to be fit and like overly fit. And then this week's episode is more like getting to see how she is on a day-to-day basis and stuff like that. So it wasn't as like trying to be funny and stuff. But yeah, overall, hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I'm your boy, the Anime G, and I hope I talk to you in the next one that I drop. I definitely dropping this one a little bit later than the last two I did, just because some things came up, and now I'm back home to take care of it. So that's just how it goes. I try to get to you guys the most content I can within the day and then have some left over tomorrow if need be. So yeah, I can't always remember what shows are coming, but I do know there was a show that did an episode 0, Dan Machi, that did a review episode, and it hurt my soul. So hopefully when it comes back now, when we get episode 1, it's going to be another freaking show I'm adding to my list of shows that I'm doing. So if your boy gets a little bit burnt out, I apologize. I just have so many anime that I have planned to do, and to think that they're all kind of falling on the same days over and over just sucks a little bit. But at the same time, it doesn't, because who complains about free anime, right? Alright. So, with all that being said, I will talk to you guys in the next one. So, peace.